Thank you. It's been a long day with the Secretary of Energy in earlier, but Chairman Griffith, thanks for holding this important hearing, for your leadership on oversight matters. Mr. Whitty, I represent rural district of South Carolina, which consists of many providers that rely on your services, whether that includes community pharmacists, community health centers, or faith-based therapy services. Constituents of the 3rd District of South Carolina rely on these providers to improve or maintain their quality of life. Providers need to know that they can trust or rely on your services without delay and to process their healthcare transactions. During the first 2 weeks following the attack, if smaller providers in financial need wanted to communicate with Change Healthcare, how did they do so?
During the first couple of weeks, through their service representative would probably have been the best approach. One of the challenges I think we've realized through all of this is that many small providers didn't have a direct relationship with Change or even United, but they would operate through an intermediary company who they themselves had connectivity.
So they couldn't call you directly?
So difficult.
Did y'all have a phone number that they could call, an email address that they could email you?
So we made sure as soon as we understood what was happening here and the disruption was going to be more than very brief, we set up weekly and oftentimes more than once a week briefing calls for participants in the marketplace, and also made available various website sources of information.
Was every provider who reached out to Change Healthcare after February 21st responded to?
I hope so, but I would hope that would be the case. But
so no provider was left in the dark when they reached out.
Our goal was to try and be as responsive as we could to every provider who reached into us. I know at the beginning there were some providers who reached and were frustrated at, for example, the terms and conditions of the loan program, and I just repeat again that's why we changed those terms and conditions. So I know for some providers they reached in, they didn't like what they heard, disappointed by that, and I'm sorry for that, and that's why we changed those programs and completely eliminated those restrictive terms and conditions.
Are you able to testify your communication with providers affected by the February 21st incident is as good today as it was in the first 2 weeks after the incident?
I think we have continued to try and improve at every stage how we communicate. And in the early days, I'm sure there are lessons we could learn to do better. And I think one of the challenges which we had within this attack is that our customer database for Change Healthcare was encrypted in the attack. So we were somewhat blinded to our ability to communicate with people. We continue to reach out. We've sent hundreds of thousands of emails. We've used our United Healthcare provider bulletin to try and communicate. We've reached out to other healthcare associations to ask them to reach out. And as I said, we've run a number of national calls to try and get the word out around where service was, for example, the loan programs, to make sure providers knew about it. But I accept that there's a risk people don't hear.
Well, what I'm hearing from you is that y'all pushed a lot of information out versus being very receptive. I mean, setting up a call center where people, they know they had an account, they know they had a payment processing issue, somebody they could reach out to. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to insert in the record Wall Street Journal article entitled United Health Grapples with Communications During the Hack Crisis from April 3rd, 2024.
And we'll take that up at the end with our list, but I don't expect there to be any problem. Also, I had one for patients struggle to get life-saving medication, which I referenced previously.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Whitty, I appreciate y'all being proactive, pushing information out. But I think based on what I've researched, a lot of people were left in the dark and had no access to get their questions answered. And I would recommend some sort of call center and some sort of communication, because these folks know they have payments in process. They could have provided y'all a lot of information that you weren't able to get through your own system that was compromised and locked out. So the customers know what they have in process. They know they have business with you guys, and it would have been very helpful. So going forward, setting up a system where those folks can communicate with you directly versus just pushing information out with check marks on a computer screen or an X showing that these things haven't been done might be a little better. But I appreciate you being here. This is very informative. I yield back, Mr. Chair.